All right, so before we get started today, even though this is probably the middle of the video for you, it's that time of year to get my trailer registered, and this toolbox has had this crack in it for a couple of years now. I don't really use it much, but I do like to throw the straps in there, and so it leaks water and gets all like gross inside and everything rusts. So I don't know how the hell I'm going to do it, but I'm going to try and get this cleaned up, pull back together, weld it up. This is going to be a disaster, so I thought I'd bring you guys along so you can laugh at me. So let's get going. Goodbye, gimbal. Alright, believe it or not, that actually went better than expected. I had real dramas closing the hole up, as you could see. So on the ends where I had it nice and close, I did all right. In the middle here, I had a big hole, a lot of contamination, and it just kept sort of blowing out, so I had to keep chasing it around a little bit. Because the gap was so big, I had to feed a bunch of filler rod in. If I wanted to, I could go back over that, do a hot pass on it and tidy it up a little bit, but it's a toolbox under a trailer and you can't actually see this part, so I honestly don't care. It's stronger than it was and, you know, more watertight than it was. So, I don't know if you can see up there. So, a lot of material blew through, but whatever. Good enough. Sorry, gimbal doing gimbal things again. Get this bolted back on, get on some real work. All right, now that's done, I'm gonna jump back on the harness. I haven't been doing a lot of work, so I don't know what I've actually filmed and what order everything's in, so if I'm jumping around a little bit, I'm sorry, but I am actually jumping around a little bit because I'm still waiting on a solution for my pedal box that doesn't work. I'm still waiting on answers for my steering column mount. I am gonna make another bracket, a better one, to mount the steering column. I think I should be able to get away with it. No one can actually give me a reason as to why I can't make a new bracket, so if it's for safety, I can push that. So I'm gonna make one, even if I can't use it, I can put the other one back on easily enough. But I at least want to test it out and see if it's gonna work. But while we're waiting on those few things, harness. Now, you remember me saying I wanted to come out of here, sort of on a 90 degree, pulling straight down. So I've got this one here, it's got a pretty nice spot down there. Obviously it's gonna go under the car, but there's a panel line here on the floor, so I can't really get perfectly where I want to be, which is right about there, but I mean that will be fine. So that one's going to go about there somewhere. The one on the other side goes up on the tunnel, which is even more unfortunate. I really can't get it on the floor. That's just flat enough where it's sitting that I can get it on the other side. It's not ideal, but I mean, it's a pretty 3D pressed panel, so it's going to be strong in all areas. The eye bolt's not going to come through there at all straight, so it's going to be pulling off angle a little bit, which is far less than ideal. If my tech inspector doesn't like it, I'll have to change that, but hopefully that'll be fine. And then for the crotch strap, this was going to always be my biggest drama, because the floor underneath, I've got that stabilizer bar there, and the floor underneath is not flat. So I bought two, because right in the middle is a press line. These ones here, it's a 6-point harness, so it mounts two in the front, so it's a V that comes up to your crotch strap, and then two lap belts, and then two on the shoulder. However, you can make it a 5-point and just have one mounting point here and run both straps to the one. I've done that in the past. However, because the floor underneath here is two different levels, I normally find it easier to run the two eyes. Now, I've managed to get both eyes lined up, and I can sort of get them an even distance apart in plane. That one needs to go over a little bit. I've been screwing around with it, but I think it's pulling back a little bit too far. Like if you look in plane, it's actually going to be pulling the straps back quite a lot, which I think in the event of an accident is probably gonna castrate me. So not ideal. This one here can come forward. I can move him forward quite a lot to there. The other one, however, has got that pressed rib in it. Now, what I'm considering is the floor is not very strong. I'm considering actually like hammer and dollying that and making it flat so that I can sit this up there like that, which is pretty much perfectly where I want it to be. The other option is that I can mount them, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, is I can actually like weld that to there and then have the eye pulling out, but that's pulling on a 90 degree, which is far less than ideal. And on top of that, I'm way too far forward. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to hammer and dolly that flat, put my plate underneath it. Underneath the car, I do have fuel lines running under here. You see these little keyhole shapes here. That's actually where a stud is welded and a clip sits up flush with the floor for the fuel line. So it's there. And then there's another one right there. Bye gimbal. It's dead now. So, let's see if I can bring him back. Come on, buddy. Oh, he's alive. Yes, that's my drama for today. That's what I'm going to get on. I might actually lift the car up a little bit higher so I can get my fat ass under there without dying. So, let's do it. Alright, with a bit more consulting and a lot more noise, I've managed to come up with a bit better solution. So I've worked out that I can fit this fella here about there on the underside, which is very, very close to the seat, but I think I can get it. And the hole will be about there. It'll pull nice and straight. That one there wasn't a drama. This one here, as I said, I'm going to push that a bit further forward so that that hole is centered in here, and I'm going to go equal distance apart, and then yeah, I'll just smash that floor up to suit, and that is what I'm going to go with. And then I will also get some 3mm reinforcing plates for the inside, and I'll just sort of, you know, weld them in here a little bit. Maybe not here. This here will probably be good, but here I'm definitely going to plate from here up a little bit. Put a reinforcing plate on the top side there, so it's a nice sandwich, and definitely down there as well, because it's very, very thin, very bendable metal. So I'll probably go from there and come up over this, weld in to strengthen that up. So, but as I said, I'm going to get equal distance apart here, and I'll drill the holes where I want them, and then I can bolt these up from underneath. spent the last couple of hours yesterday under the car, so I couldn't really film it, but all I did was cleaned up on the bottom side all the seam sealer from around those holes. So I'm gonna tack weld those plates on, so you can see the mess I've got down here. So that one there I'm still playing with. I can't really get a decent contact, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with him. But these ones over here, you can see that it's probably the best I can get you, sorry. You see I've cleaned up around there, and then I've given them an undercoat, so I'll just burn a bit of a weld on the corner of those just so that they don't move or fall off if a bolt comes loose or if I take it out or whatever. So I've got to get a weld on that one before I can straighten him up. Every time I straighten it up, it moves the plate. And then these two here I'm going to plate in on top. So this one here I'm sort of going to tie into the seat bracket, cover that hole, probably come up here a little bit, although this metal here is actually really, really strong. I tried to like bend a bit of this so that I can get that plate in there better, and there's no way in hell it would bend. That one over there is extremely weak. I bent it around a lot. You can see I hammered this seam out a little bit too, so I need to tidy that up a little bit because it looks pretty crap. So yeah, that one there I'm definitely going to plate in. Whether I go back to the roll cage foot or not, I'm not 100% sure. I might keep it separate and go up and over that lump, just so it's got a little bit of extra strength. This one here probably doesn't need it, but because I can't get that plate to sit on there properly, I'll give it a little bit extra as well. So let's get onto that. That was a lot over and back trying to get those to fit up neat because three-dimensional shapes and whatnot, but I got that fella on there. and that fella sits down there like that. So I'll mark them up, and then I'll just grind a bit of bare metal around them. Alright, so that went about as well as could be expected. I've got those plates welded in there. I'll give them a spritz with some black etch primer, and then I'll give them a coat of that nice blue stuff another day. Welded up a few extra holes that were in the floor from different studs and brackets and stuff. Now obviously the shoulder straps go to there, and I've got some roll bar clamps that hold them at the right angle. I'll put them on during final assembly, but that's me out. I've got a heap of welding to do at work tomorrow, so I'm out of time, I'm out of liquid death, and I'm out of the willingness to breathe in shitty fumes. So that's me done. Sorry, it's a bit of a crap video, but that's crap jobs is all that's left in this car, so. Jesus. Yeah, good enough for who it's for.